All right, man. So, all right. So, how was your day, man? In your
Yeah, it was
time?
good. Yeah, I mean, it's coming up to 3 o'clock now, and I've done most of my things that I needed to do today, and I've just got the second half to go. It's Valentine's Day, so
Yeah, I know.
got to make sure the house is all good for the wife when she gets home.
Yeah, man. I
Yeah.
know it is. I know it is, man. It's been like a really rough week for me, man. I'm a parent, so I'm always
Um,
up and out and going all the time, man.
yeah. So, how many children do you have?
I have two. One is 7, and the other one is like 1 year and 2 months.
Oh, bless you, man. That's
Yeah, and
cool.
that's about it. I'm done. I'm done. It's a game over for me. No more
So no,
kids. Good.
that's
I'm
good.
good. I really wanted
So,
a girl. I wanted a girl, but you know, but hey, God blessed me with two boys, and hey, I'm not complaining. It's cool. It's
yeah,
cool.
you can't complain, man. That's good
Yeah,
though.
it's a,
Awesome. So
so
yeah, I mean, how is it? So you're coming up to 11 p.m. now for you?
yeah, it's 11 p.m. So we could get started. It's okay.
Cool.
The part that we
So
just
how is
talked,
it?
we could just cut that part out. Don't worry about it.
All right, perfect.
So
So
I just
yeah,
recorded the whole thing and we just cut it out. So whatever, so it's fine. All
yeah,
right.
that's cool.
So I'll just introduce myself. Hello, everyone. My name is Shane. I have an Instagram to go over high top life. I talk about being motivated, to be inspired, and just help you to self-develop in your mind and how to go about your days, just to give you that motivation. And I make quite amount of videos on different social media platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So if you look for I Shane Willibus, then you will find me on all three platforms. Go ahead.
Perfect. So yeah, that's a great introduction, Shane. And yeah,
Thank you.
we've been speaking for a while now, and very recently got into speaking a bit more intimately about what we both want to do. And yeah, we both decided. Well, Shane decided that he wanted to come up with doing a podcast, and I was happy to oblige. So yeah, I am of a similar ilk to Shane, so I'm very much in the positive state of trying to put something positive out into the world of social media. You'll find me
Yeah,
mostly on Instagram, and from there you can go onto my Facebook group where it's just a bit more intimate in that group. It's called Bring Me Mindfulness. Anybody can join it. If you're into personal development and trying to better yourself, that's my main mission here is to bring as much positivity to people that need it. So yeah, as I say, I'm mainly on Instagram. It's at Dennis Thomas Ali, and that's my full name. And if you needed, I can spell it out. It's Dennis with one N and a Z, Thomas Thomasali. Sorry. So yeah, that's my Instagram page, and I post daily on there content as much as I can, and it's talking about the mindset. That's really what my mission is to dig deep into people's mindsets and to build discipline and help people build discipline. Because without discipline, we're never going to really accomplish anything in life.
yeah, for sure, for sure. That's all it is. Takes more than just motivation. It's just getting up and just doing it without thinking about it or having some type of feeling about it. You just do it automatically. So that's very important. So yeah, so we starting this up. So we're just going to share our, about our lifestyle and what leads us up to doing our Instagram or motivation and stuff development. So yeah, I guess I'll just go first.
Yeah, go for it.
So yeah, so as I was talking about as I was talking to my friend right here, I was telling him about my life that I was growing up. It was pretty difficult, just growing up with my mom just only, and my father was never really around. So I played both roles of looking after my sisters and being father and brother and all that. It's pretty tough, And my mom was just always working and stuff, so I just have to help out around the house, and so I kind of mature at a younger age than most
Mhm.
kids because they were usually, kids around at that young age is usually playing basketball, playing video games and stuff like that. So I didn't really get to focus too much on my childhood. Well, I was growing at a young age. And yeah, and as I get older, I got into problems with, with the law, just do a whole bunch of stupid, dumb stuff, like smoking and drinking and hanging out with the wrong crowd. And if someone asked me like, "Hey, you want to be a part of the gang?" I was like, "Okay, sure, why not?" I didn't really have to think about it. It was just somebody that can, a group of people I can hang out with and whatnot. And as I got older, I started to wondering like, it got to be more to this life than just, drinking and hanging out and doing all that stuff that doesn't make any sense. So as my years like I'm getting to see like other kids and my peers and everybody that just kept doing the same thing. It was all the time the same thing, and I just feel like, there's gotta be more to this. And I was kind of like annoyed, like why I have to be following them. I was a little angry, a little confused. I was trying to figure out things, to be honestly. I didn't really have a father figure to guide me along. My mother can only do so much because she was just focusing on the girls, and I'm a male, so it's kind of hard for her to like, to be a male figure because she's a female. So, so I just had to like, navigate this world as I growing up. I had my uncle. He was always my father figure because he's always trying to steer me in the right direction. And sometimes I didn't want to listen, pay attention or whatever, but he was a single. He grew up in a single. Grew up with his mother, also alone. With two other sisters, so he understands what I was going through and what I was dealing with. So it was pretty tough. But anyway, so as I got older, as I went into high school, I started to, read books, and I started to focus, a little bit on like, like a little bit of self-development, like, people that can make themselves better by, motivating themselves by watching videos and playing some type of sports. I just felt like there's something more than what, that I just see in the mirror. I feel like I can do more. And as time progresses, I got into videos and stuff like that. And I started to make like inspirational videos and motivation and things like that. And I really enjoyed it. And it's some people in my life, like I actually want them to actually change, but I come to understand that some people just don't want to change. They want to stay the way they are. And
Yeah.
but even despite all of that, I just try to talk to them and try to steer them in the right direction in the best way that I can.
Mhm.
So, as I got a little more older, as I go into my university days, I started to get even more involved in motivation and things like that. So yeah. And now I'm in Taiwan. That's a complete different story. So I'm in Taiwan right now. So I got more serious about making more videos of motivation and stuff like that. So yeah, it was pretty hard for me growing up, but now I'm pretty much um I say satisfied, not satisfied with my life. I say I'm satisfied where I'm at right now, but I still got a long way to go. And I just want to, reach out and help all people out there, in the time and that they need help. And that's where I like making videos and motivating people. That's what I always like to do. It just, it's put it this way. It's not that it feels strange. Like everyone has a purpose. I felt like nobody told me that I needed to do this.
You
It's strange.
just discovered it yourself.
It just came to me,
Mm.
and it's just like, and I'm a Christian. I do believe in God, and and I learned a lot. And I believe that, this purpose choose me to do this. It's not like something I was looking for. It just was implanted in me. And I just like helping people out, and it's been like that ever since.
Can
And
you
yeah,
remember? Sorry to interrupt.
go
I'm
ahead, man. Go
curious
ahead.
because as we go through these videos, we're actually still getting to learn to know each other. So,
Yeah.
a lot of this information is actually new to me as well. So, on behalf of like whoever's watching, I want to ask those questions. And forgive me if I stop you. You can
No,
stop
it's all
me
right,
if you
man. It's
interrupt
okay.
me.
It's okay.
Perfect. So yeah, I was going to ask you just two things relating to your childhood. Are you the oldest of your siblings?
Yeah, I'm the oldest. Yeah.
So you assume that father figure role pretty much automatically, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
And when did this? Can you remember when this feeling came to you at the point of when you wanted to be push out that motivation towards other people? Like when you said it hit you, do you remember what age you were?
No, not really. I just only can tell you it kind of happened around like I say like around junior high school times, somewhere around that time. You know, as I'm trying to figure out things as a adolescent age.
Yeah,
So, you know, as like I said, like I said, there's some people that that I hanged out with that was part of gangs and whatever, you know. But, you know, for some reason I just couldn't fit into that. But that's why I felt like, you know, I should be doing something a little more better with my life.
yeah,
So that's
I
what it
get
just
you.
came to me that I have to like change, you know. But, you know, I'm just trying to figure out things about my life around that age when I was younger.
Yeah. Were you seeing a lot from the people that you were hanging out with that you mentioned before? They weren't changing their lives, and it came to you
No,
at one point
I
that
mean, no, they were not really changing, and I'm actually the one who was reaching out. I'm like, hey man, you know, just put that down. Hey man, let's go do something else. But you know, they grew up in that atmosphere, that environment, and you know, no one
yeah,
wants to like go the direction that I'm going. So I kind of felt a little like an outcast, like a lonely, you know. So I decided, well, you know, I'll talk to you guys, but I'm staying over here and I'm gonna go in that direction, you know. But I still talk to them. I didn't really like, you know, cast them aside like that, but from a distance, you know.
yeah,
That's
I
about
get
it.
you.
But later on, they all drift away and just moved on with their life. So, you know, it kind of made me feel like a little bad about that or whatever.
Yeah,
But I know that, you know, it was a better decision that I need to make for myself.
it's great because you could have been another statistic with those people.
Pretty
A similar
much.
situation. I was in a similar situation growing up, so I totally get you. But it feels like you hit that switch at an earlier age than me. Like when you said you was in high school when you started to, you were actually actively looking to figure things out, figure yourself out. But I think that comes with maturity. I think where you said that you had to be that father figure from an early age, it's like you're ahead of your years and you were already doing that, like almost, let's say, 10 years before you should have done that,
Yeah,
maybe.
you know, yeah, it felt like that for me and just felt like completely like, you know, I felt like yeah, I was felt like I'm ahead of my time or whatever, but you know, I felt like I would have say a weirdo, or outcast or whatever, because people couldn't understand what I was thinking and how I was preaching to those and talking to them, you know, because it's kind of like who are you? Like, are you my father or are you my mentor? Like who signed you up to like to talk to me like that way or whatever? Like, Shane, let's just go hang out and just go mess around with these girls, drink and just have a good time or whatever.
Yeah.
Nah, just couldn't, man. The sad reality is that most of them, I have to say, most of them just never changed, just look the same, and that's about it. Let me tell you something. Like when I was living in Florida, I moved back to New York. But anyways, it's a long story. As I was moving back, I saw one of my friends at the gas station, right? He's like, hey, Shay, man, long time no see. How's everything? Hey, man. Hey, do you smoke weed, Shane? You smoke weed? No, this is my last day. I'm moving back to New York. You
Okay.
smoke weed, Shane? I was like, nah, man, bro. No, I don't do that, man. I'm sorry. I don't do that. Do you know anybody else out there that sells weed? You know, that want to smoke or whatever? And, like, I don't know. But I just told him, like, hey, man, hey, I wish you the best of luck, man. Good luck. Just be safe, man. God bless. And that was it, you know? And I just never seen him again. It was like almost like maybe 10 or 12 years ago or something like that. Just left him
Yeah.
alone. That's about it.
So
Sucks.
they were still in that same world when you were kids growing up, and they've stayed in that same world.
Never grew up, man. Never grew up.
Yeah,
That was it.
I get you. So, I mean, just for context, like I'm from the
But
UK, you're originally from New York in America,
yeah.
and although we both speak the same language,
Mm.
um, our worlds were similar, but in terms of like where you grew up, I think that's important for context here. Like when we were first speaking, you told me it was pretty much the same neighborhood that 50 Cent was from, and I'm a
Yeah,
massive
pretty
50
much.
Cent.
Yes. Guy Bora. That's right up. Yeah, seriously.
Jamaica Queens, right?
Yeah, Jamaica, Queens. Okay. All right. So let me
I
back up a
think that's
little bit.
important. Yeah.
I grew up in Jamaica, Queens. Okay. I stayed in Guybora, right in the same neighborhood with 50 Cent. I moved to Florida in 2001 or 2002. I stayed there for like maybe a decade or so or whatever, and I came back.
Okay.
So I stayed in Brooklyn or whatever. So yeah, I'm actually from the neighborhood. So a few years in Florida, that's when I found out that, hey, there's a new rapper, 50 Cent, and oh,
So
this
cool, man.
where's he from? Oh, Jamaica, Queens, New York.
Yeah,
Guy Bora, Southside Jamaica, Queens, Guy Bora.
that's
I just
amazing.
couldn't believe it. I was like, I had to look into him, and then I found out with
Yeah,
all gangster movement and the gang shooting his cheek and his body. So yeah,
yeah.
he was one of my favorite rappers because he just kept it real.
He's one of my favorites of all time, and not just because of his music, but I think his mindset is unmatched in terms of his mentality. He's just an animal. Like if he goes to do if he does something, he goes and gets that done. Like there's no bullshitting with that. And
Yeah,
some people
man.
like him, some people hate him, but you cannot deny his mentality, and that just goes to show where you both are from. That doesn't matter where what your circumstances are, as long as you have good guidance, or if you're lucky enough to um, the want for a better word to make it by yourself, you can get yourself out of the hood, as they say. You know,
Yeah,
that's
pretty
good.
much, man. Yeah, I got to admire his hustle, man. He transitioned from a drug dealer. And keep in mind, he never did drugs. That's what they say. And that's what he said. He never did drugs, but he just sold it, sold drugs to a means just to, get money and whatever,
Yeah,
and then became a rapper. But he transitioned. He went in, was selling vitamin water, the
yeah.
clothes. I had unit clothes, all of that. I had it
I
for
had the
real. I had
headphones,
all
the SMS audio headphones.
that. No, I
You
didn't have
remember?
his headphones. No, I didn't go that far, but I had his clothes and I had all his CDs, Get Rich, Die Trying, Beg for Mercy, Valentine
Yeah.
Massacre.
Oh,
I'm
you're giving me goosebumps, man. It just takes me back.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
listened to that and from front to back. It was really good. And then I went to Tony Yayo, Lloyd Banks, and Young
yeah,
Buck and all of them. Yo, man, I was a complete fanboy, man. So yeah.
me too.
But I like the way you transition from drug dealer, rapper, selling merchandise like vitamin water to clothes, and he got into the movie industry, and
Yeah.
then he's doing
Video
more
games.
Mongol. Huh?
He did two video games, remember?
Yeah, video games. Get Rich I Trying, Bulletproof. That's what's called. Yeah, for
Yeah.
PS2.
Bulletproof and Blood in the Sand.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So yeah, I was a big 50 Cent fan. But that's about it. So yeah,
yeah. That's
yeah.
cool,
So
man.
I like his hustle, man. So yeah, he's one of the top person, one of those people that I admire his hustle. I don't agree with everything, but I gotta agree with his
Yeah.
mentality. He's always like, I want this, that's what I'm going to get. I don't care who says or whatever, he want to get it. That's about it.
Get it or die trying,
Pretty
as they
much,
say.
he lived by it. Really lived by what he says, and that was it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. So let me
So,
switch. Oh, you go ahead, man. So go
no,
ahead.
no, okay, I was gonna say, was you gonna ask me about my
Yeah,
brother?
so let everybody know about you and your life if you want to. You can share all of that and ask actually some questions and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I grew up in London. I was born in London, and we moved out of London from a very early age. My mum and dad, they experienced some difficulties, and it was difficult to find good housing from where we grew up. And so we moved further outside of London to Hertfordshire. It's called. It's like Hertfordshire is a county, and then you have Watford, which is like a town. It's probably the next one of the next biggest towns just outside of London. It's a few miles away. And I spent most of my life in Watford, and then I moved around a little bit over the last 6 or 7 years to different towns, and now I'm settled in a place called Hemel Hempstead, which is with my wife. We've been here
Mhm.
now for a few years, and it's close to London, it's close to Watford, it's close to where I grew up. So I've got to experience like the hustle and bustle of London growing up, and then the quieter life living in these smaller towns. But everybody wants to be from London. Everybody wants to have that hustle within them, and everybody wants to.
Mhm.
I don't know. There's something about London that just draws you back in, and even I was like that. I always used to say, like, I'm originally from London when I was younger, and to the people that weren't living in London or weren't born there like me, they kind of cast you as an outsider. So
Mhm.
um, we were like one of the only families in our particular area when we first moved out that were from London. So it was kind of like it's very clicky, with people in where we grew up. It was them, and then there was us. So we found it quite difficult to settle in,
Yeah.
and we made friends, we made enemies, but we always stuck to our principles, family first. And I'm from a big family, so it's just ingrained in you to look out for family first before anything. So that's one of my biggest things. And growing up with two sisters, it was difficult as well because I was always the one in the middle. And
Mm.
it was a good childhood. I can't deny that. We had our ups and downs like every family, but we got to do things. We we were never really bored, to be honest with you. We had everything that we wanted.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
but as I got a little bit older into my early teens, I started hanging around with the wrong crowd, um, just sort of starting to rebel against things. I found school quite difficult. And the only one thing I really wanted to pursue when I was younger was football, or as you guys say, soccer,
Yeah.
just for the American fans out there. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
football over here is like tribal, like the NFL over in America is very
Yeah.
tribal. So, yeah, I mean, football was the only thing that I knew, and I can't lie, I was good at it. And um, I wasn't pushed in that right direction to even get any trials anywhere, make it professionally. And ultimately, I ended up just following in my father's footsteps because he was a mechanic, and I like cars
Mm.
anyway. But I was never really pushed, and this is where my passion for personal development comes in because for youngsters like myself back then there's no there's nothing really in between the education system and then going into adult life, and I want to bridge that gap for young people that want to
Mhm.
do something with their lives, that want to put in the work, and they just need that support because there's not much support out there. All of a sudden you leave school, you leave education, and then you've got to get a job, you've got to pay bills. There's no manual out there to read really, unless there's probably books on it, but there's nothing that's handed to you to help you. So that's my main passion. And yeah, going back to growing up, as I say, in my teenage years, like I was drinking sometimes, I was smoking sometimes, and that's really where the badness lies. I
Mhm.
could have gone with the wrong crowd because I mean, we had my group of friends. Eventually, I decided, or not decided. Eventually, I was ingrained into the way that we lived in Watford. There's nothing particular about it. It's just that it's either make friends or be by yourself. So yeah, I could have easily gone down that bad path of even more hardcore drugs that I saw
Mhm.
in certain people,
Mhm.
but it never really appealed to me. Although again, I was smoking, I was drinking sometimes, not heavily, because I loved fitness, I loved football, I liked going places. I always used to ride everywhere on my bike, so I was always active. But yeah, I never really knew what I wanted to do other than play football. So it was quite crushing for me, really. After I turned around somewhere between 16 to 18,
Oh.
that's where you need to be in an academy. You need to be signed up, and you need to be on trial already at that point. So that was never going to happen. So yeah, it took me a long time to figure out what I wanted to do in life. But as I say, my growing up wasn't too bad. Um, like everybody, you have your ups and downs, but I just kind of had to figure things out, like break the mold. No one
Yeah.
really in my family, as I say, really pushed me to go towards one thing. And not just from my parents, but from school, there was no real encouragement there. The school I
Mhm.
went to, it was it was tough because it was from the school was based in a very like upmarket area, so
Yeah.
almost very middle class, and we were like below middle class. And hearing the accent different and knowing that you're outside of that area, no,
Mhm.
people didn't like you for that. And school, yeah, school was really tough. I say I hated school, but I got my education there. I had my good times, I had my bad times, but overall, you know, I would do things differently probably. But it was a thing where my sister got us in, my big sister, she got us
Mhm.
into a good school, and which I was very thankful for because I wouldn't have been smart enough to get into that school. But there was a
Mm.
system where if your older sibling got into that school, your younger siblings could get into that school as well. So,
Okay.
no, we got a good education, but I didn't leave with very good grades, to be honest with you. I started to get better grades as I left school because we have a system here like we call it GCSEs.
Okay.
Um, I'm not sure what you guys would call it when you leave high school and you go into college or university, but it's when you leave school in the UK, you get GCSEs and they kind of help you to like maths, English, science, that type of thing.
Oh,
Um,
just don't want to cut you off. Like we call it like
yeah,
self what's it called, self replacement test in America. I forgot to change the name. I'm not
SATs,
sure. When it like to help you out to go to like map you out to go to different universities by
that
finding
kind of thing.
would
Yeah,
be good
yeah,
at
pretty much.
math, science, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys call it abbreviation SATs.
We have SATs, yeah. And we
Okay.
have another one that's self-replacement test, but it depends on which state that you're in. It's almost the
Oh,
same.
okay.
Yeah.
Right, right. So yeah, it's probably similar. Like as you're leaving high school, it determines what your future is going to turn out to be like if you're going to go to college or um, another form of education. So
Mm.
yeah, I didn't really feel like I fitted into school system and school life. Like I wasn't suspended. I got into trouble a lot, but I wasn't kicked out of school. There was some things that I enjoyed, but as I say, it was just it had its ups and downs. It was just for me, school was like a roller coaster. One minute
Mm.
you're up, the next minute you're down.
Mm.
There was no real middle ground for me, to be honest with you. Some people, just coast through school. Some people enjoy it. Some people hate it. It was just up and down for me. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. As I got older, I upped my grades. As when I left school, I had a thing called an apprenticeship,
Okay.
and yeah, I was able to get my maths and English up, and I've learnt a lot. I feel like I've learnt a lot more as an adult since I've left school. So for me, yeah, the school system, like everywhere,
I
is
agree
not
with you
great.
with that one. I agree with
Yeah.
you that one for real, for real. Real life experience is your real class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some people enjoy it. For some people it's great. So I don't completely knock it. I think just the school system isn't tailored for everybody and their needs. I'm slower than other people. So it took me a longer time to catch up to learn things sometimes. Some things would go in like that. Some things it just took much longer.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. I wouldn't change it really because it's made me, pursue this passion of personal development. And ever since I left school, I've had so many jobs. Like I said, I could have gone down that bad path with drugs and hanging out with the wrong
Mhm.
people. Nothing really ever came to me like you when you were younger. I didn't have that responsibility. It took me till I was about 24, 25 when
Mhm.
I got into a high pressure job and I was selling cars. And from there, I started discovering Rob Dial. He's the mindset mentor. He has a podcast. He's on Instagram. He's all over social media. He's based in Austin, Texas, and he's very much mindset based, like trying to teach people how to figure out what your thoughts are and to help you with like morning routines and meditation and just to try and better your life. And he's inspired me to do this mainly. So when I was selling cars, it was very high pressured, and I needed something there to listen to every day to kind of motivate
Mm.
me and push me because I never knew anything about, um, I didn't really know anything about podcasts back then and personal development or anything. I had Spotify and
Yeah.
sometimes I'd listen to motivational things on YouTube, but one day I was just like, mindset motivational. So I typed that in, and from there I was just hooked. Like his episodes are incredible, and yeah, I was just really hooked from day one. And
Mm.
5 years later, I'm just immersed into that world of personal development, and that's what really motivated me to go down this route. So yeah, I'm glad because at that point it was a real pivotal point in my life.
Yeah.
Just turned 24. 6 months later, myself and my wife, we got our house together at that point, and in March 2020 we hit the lockdowns, and I didn't lose my job, but I was put on leave, so we couldn't actually go and sell cars because we were on lockdown, of course.
Okay.
So from that point, I invested into a personal development course, which turned out for me to become a coach, and that's
Mm.
really where it lies for me, where I'm a life coach. I do accountability work with people, and we'll go into that over different sessions because it's too long to explain now.
Yeah, it's cool,
But yeah,
man. I got a long thing I want to talk about too, but it's all right. But it's okay. But let me ask you a question. When you learn self-development, so did you like sit down and evaluate yourself? I feel like like something was like wrong about me that I had to improve. Like, can you
yeah.
tell me about that?
I feel like when I got into it, obviously I was selling cars. It was the first real high pressure job that I had.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I was a lazy person. I felt like I worked hard, but I needed something to push me even further because I realized that these guys are selling 20, 30 cars a month, and I was new to the game, but I was selling maybe 10, 15, and I'm like, what are these guys doing that is different to me? So I just needed those words of wisdom to just push myself even more, and that's where it first started. There was nothing really in particular that at that point that I wasn't sure about myself. I thought that I was going to sell cars forever, basically, at that point.
Hmm.
Um, and then almost a year later, in the midst of the lockdowns, that's when I decided that, okay, if my job can drop me like that and I can only earn small amounts of money just because I can't work,
Yeah.
I need to do something different. I needed to be my own boss, and I needed to, teach people that. By that point, within a year of getting into personal development, I realized how much of a difference you can make in your life by taking action, taking charge, being your own motivator, and being disciplined. So that's what really sparked me to go on this coaching journey. From there was like I could teach this to other people. I For some reason, I don't know where it comes from, but I have this ability to bounce back from setbacks. It's not a
Mm.
coincidence that I'm not going to name names, but in most of my family that I grew up with, so I was very close with, all of them have some sort of depression, and I don't.
I can relate.
So as a human being, we have anxieties and stuff, and I'm not knocking these people, but
Yeah, yeah.
there's a reason why I don't have depression, and I have an ability to keep bouncing back from these setbacks that I've had in life. So, as I say, having many jobs, not knowing what I wanted to do with my life, having many setbacks, for some reason I could have gone down that path the same as them,
Yeah.
but I'm still here and I'm still into personal development. With all the shit that's going on in the world, it's like it's easy for people to catch that feeling of being depressed. And don't get me wrong, I go through that the same as other people, but I'm not clinically depressed. I have my problems, but I deal with them. I deal with them in the right way.
Okay, so
So yeah,
let
sorry.
me ask,
Yeah.
oh, sorry. So like, I was actually, the whole world was going through that problem, with back in 2020. So,
Mm.
I want to ask you this question. The What was it? It was on the tip of my tongue. I totally forgot about it. Okay. The time that you were going through in 2020 with the lockdown and everything else. Um, Man, I totally forgot what I was about to say.
Was it
Oh,
something to do with?
how did you cope with it? I mean, did you feel like you were falling into some type of depression, or you feel like a little stressed out, or you were at peace, were you at calm, or you accepted it? How did you feel about that?
Oh man, it was such a weird time in my life. From acquiring, so going from when we first moved in December 2019, it's just me and my wife. I grew up in a house of five, including me. It was always busy. Um, and then going to a small house with just us two, going into the quiet was like stepping into heaven almost. It was like amazing. It was just felt for those first few months felt amazing. Like this is my house. I own it. I can do whatever I want. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the March, that's when we got sent into lockdown, and something just kind of, it's hard to put a word onto what the feeling was, but for the first month or so, for the first 6 weeks, it was great because I was still getting paid full pay for the first 2 months, I think it was. So financially, I was comfortable, and I thought, oh, this is going to pass. We're going to go back to work by May, June.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I'd be fine. And obviously, months had passed, and then things got worse. But for me, that first 6 weeks was bliss because I was just playing Xbox all day, playing Call of Duty with my friends. I felt like a kid again. I had all of this quietness in this house, and it was just great because I just got into personal development, just got the house. I was still doing my morning routines and stuff. I was working out. I was sitting in the garden, and the weather was amazing. But after 6 weeks, it kind of just stopped being blissful. It got so boring, and I knew I had to do something different at that point because that's when we knew we were going to stay off of work for longer, and
Mm-hmm.
my wage had dropped as well. So I was like, shit, like okay, I can just about pay the bills here, but like all sorts of thoughts were going through my head. Like, are we going to have to sell the house? Are we going to have to leave this place just to like go and live back home with our parents? I was like, no, this isn't going to happen. So yeah, I got really deep into that personal development and then doing the coaching course as well during the
So,
middle of it. Yeah,
okay, so that's why I actually that's why I was asking this question is because you told me that you got into like self-development. You're still learning, and doing the lockdown and all that type of stuff. But don't you feel it's kind of strange that around that time, like, you weren't focusing on that, but you got into self-development and then the lockdown. So don't you feel like it's like a blessing because it
it
kind of like
was.
keeps you together, keep your mind together? Because I will
Yeah,
tell you right now, back in 2020 when we had lockdown also as well, especially in Taiwan. And, other countries were locked down or whatever. But here's the interesting thing about it. I felt a little worried, but I also felt at peace.
yeah,
I felt like at peace. I understand, money, the job, and all that type of stuff or whatever. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm home. I'm locked down. My kid can't go to school. I can't work. So I pull out a whiteboard and start teaching my child because he's learning Chinese and English at the same time. So I'm teaching him English and stuff like that.
yeah,
So I just felt at peace. Everybody's so worried. Everybody's looking at the news and everything, but you know what? Because I had that mindset, that mentality, motivating myself and just wanted to do stuff. Like you said, it's maybe because I was younger, and I dealt with a lot of things. So this was just like a walk in the park. So to be honestly, some people think I'm crazy, but when everybody was going crazy back in 2020, I felt at peace.
yeah,
To be honest, I really did. So
yeah,
I felt like, also, I was making I stopped for a while and then I got back into making videos and stuff. So that's what helped me out to make me feel more strong, like strong mindset and, still go about my day as a parent and, look after my child, look after my wife, look after the house and just look after myself. So it was good. So,
yeah.
yeah, man. So that's really awesome that you're doing your self-development and, do you feel that you still have some more things you need to improve on? Again,
Always, man, always. I feel like this is gonna take me forever to improve. I don't think I'll ever get to a point in my life where I feel satisfied fully.
mm,
I want more. Not that I'm not happy. I'm always fulfilled, but there's always something more for me. I'm always that not
but
the
it,
highest of achievers, but
mm.
I wanna be better. And
But is there a specific area that you know what? Yes, I want to improve on this, I want to improve on that, this, all of that. But is there a specific area in your life that you know what? I really need to do this. Like I really want to improve on this. Anything specifically?
off the top of my head right now, I would say communicating with people. Um, Long story, but obviously we're going to go into this as we get to know
Yeah, I
each
know.
other and we'll bring up more episodes. But over the last year, I had a bit of an illness, and going back to the lockdowns, I've had time off to focus on my coaching stuff. So I wasn't just just sat around doing nothing. But
Yeah,
I've lost a lot of communication with people and speaking to people. I was on medication as well for some time, so the medication affected my speech as well, and I feel like not that I've been set back, but because I wasn't working, I lost that day-to-day communication with people and meeting new people as well. So that's one thing this year specifically that yeah, I want to meet new people, talk to new people, make new connections as well.
yeah.
But like just going back really quickly, like you with like during the lockdowns, this period in my life as well over the last year, although I haven't been able to work, I've been able to put all of this time into my coaching, do another training course, and it's just put life into perspective again for me. And like with the lockdowns, I never saw that as a setback. I saw that as a blessing in disguise because
I felt the
I
same
had,
way.
yeah, I had all of that time to get into the coaching, into the personal development, and make the most of it. Not to sit around, watch the TV, watch the news, and do nothing. It was like this is the time that Source, God, whatever it is, I don't know, has given me this blessing to really knuckle down. And yeah, so I just
I
wanted
think
to
that's
add that.
legit. Yeah, I think that's legit, I think that's fine. Yeah, I feel like I want to talk too much, but you gotta go about your life and I gotta go to sleep because it's nighttime my time, so it's all right. Yeah, so I bought a few books that I need to like communicate and it's like psychology books, like talking to people and the behavior patterns and stuff like that. So, I'm looking into some books and actually reading to improve my communication skills,
Is this
and
something that
yeah.
sorry, is it similar for you as well then? The
Hmm?
communication side of things. Is this a similar thing for you this year that you want to improve on?
Yeah, I want to communicate and actually meet more people. So that's why I felt like, like 2.5 weeks back, I was like, so, I want to do this podcast, never mind. I don't have the materials. I told you that I said, I want to pull the trigger. I want to take a leap of faith and just
Just
go ahead
do
and
it.
just
Yeah.
do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even have my headset or anything like that, but who cares? The thing is, like, I just want to just go ahead and just do it and just knock it out. Say like, hey, I did it. You
Yeah.
know, I'm gonna do another episode, and we can meet up and talk more, and that's about it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man. I guess this comes to the end of the little podcast. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So it was
It's
good
been fun.
talking to you, man. Chop things up and get to know each other a little more. Hopefully, in the future, we can get to know more about each other, develop a friendship with each other. Share some resources and things like that. Who knows?
Yeah.
Um,
Let's see where it takes us.
yeah, of course. Yeah. So this is the first podcast. It might be, I don't know, maybe it might be 100 for now. Who knows what this year might take us, but it's good. So
Yeah.
I would like to have you back, depending on your schedule and depending on my schedule, so we can just like, invite more people,
Yeah.
and just talk and just share our experiences and, talk about a topic and whatnot. And, there's some people out there that can look at the video and they can, be inspired and motivated and learn something from us.
Let's hope so, man. It's
For
good.
sure.
It's good to talk. It's good to get to know each other. And if we're inspiring people, just one person,
One
then
person,
I feel like
that's all about it. I never got into this just because of me. Fame and glory and money and nah, no, no, no. Of course I need to, develop myself and, finances or whatever, but that was never the main thing. I like making, videos to communicate with people and just inspire them. It was never about money and any of that stuff. No.
Yeah.
but it's fine. So yeah, man. It was nice
Cool.
talking to you. Have a good afternoon, and yeah, just enjoy the week and God bless, man.
You too, man. We'll speak soon.
Yeah, man. Take it easy, and yeah, bye. So it's okay. That part I just
We'll carry
put
on. Yeah.
that from the beginning, from the early of the video and towards the ending. So don't worry about that. So
We'll just cut the
yeah,
beginning and
just that part, and I just give it to you, and you can, share it on your Instagram and stuff like that. So it's good.
context.
Yeah, man, it was nice talking to you, man. I really
You
need to
too.
talk to you
It was
about
good. Um, yeah, I think I can pretty much do the same time. Let me just check my calendar. So next week, yeah, the 21st. I can do the 21st again. I can try and make it a little bit earlier for you.
Let me see, the 21st. Okay, yeah, okay, that's on a Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, that's fine. Okay, just make sure. Okay. Yeah, I can add that into the calendar. Yeah. Because one
Should
of the
we
time I
call it?
will be working on that day too. So, but hey, it's fine.
Okay.
I'm the one who
Well,
wanted to do this, so it's fine.
if you can make the time, great. If you want to do it earlier in the day, say 2 p.m. For me,
I
well,
think
2 p.m. for me would be 10 p.m. for you. So
I think this is great because my kids are sleeping right now and I can talk to you and stuff. And that's
yeah,
about it. So this time is fine. It's okay. And yeah. All right, man. So yeah, like I said, take it easy, man. And hey, man, keep doing what
perfect.
you're doing.
Cool, man. And you, and yeah, just set up the. If you make it for the same time, check in with same again. We'll check in 10 minutes before next week.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll keep it.
you'll be all right. Yeah. So I'll let you know, like also a day ahead, if you're still
Yeah,
good up to it or not. That's fine.
yeah,
All right, man.
sounds
Take
good.
it easy, bro. God bless.
Peace, brother, and we'll speak soon.